Hello friends, in this video I'll be talking about the structure of the cell. Cells are the smallest living units of an organism. Without cell, there would not have been any life on this earth. So, they are rightly said as the building blocks of life. There are many different kinds of cell and hence a lot many variation in the structure as well. But three things are common in all the cells. These are the cell membrane, or we can say the boundary of the cell, which separates the inside of the cell from the rest of the environment. The genetic material in the form of DNA. And the volume inside the cell membrane is filled with a semi-fluid matrix known as the cytoplasm. Here it is very important to mention two broad categories of the cell, that is the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. In eukaryotic cell, the genetic material is surrounded by a membrane known as the nuclear membrane. It gives rise to a distinct structure known as the nucleus. So we can say that the eukaryotic cell has a membrane-bound nucleus and it also possesses some other membrane-bound organelles. All the multicellular organisms like animals and plants belong to this group. The other one are the prokaryotic cell. They do possess the genetic material, but it is not surrounded by any membrane. It floats freely in the cytoplasm. So we can say the membrane-bound nucleus is absent in prokaryotic cells, and unicellular bacteria and archaea belong to this category. Here we are going to discuss the eukaryotic cell. As mentioned earlier, the cell membrane is the outermost boundary of the cell. It is a selectively permeable membrane which facilitates the movement of molecules through it. Now looking into the structure of the cell membrane. Cell membrane has a lipid bilayer with their polar heads towards the outside and the hydrophobic tails towards the inside. In addition to the lipids, it is also composed of the carbohydrates and proteins. Proteins are of two types. Those embedded inside the cell membrane, they are known as the integral proteins, whereas those present on the outer surface or the periphery are known as the peripheral proteins. Now, inside the cell membrane, the whole of the volume is occupied by a semi-fluid matrix known as the cytoplasm. This is the main arena of all the cellular activities. All the organelles of the cell float in the cytoplasm. Organelles. What does this term refer to? Organelles are membrane-bound small organs of the cell which perform specific function for the well-being of the cell. Now let's discuss these organelles. The first one being the nucleus. Nucleus is also known as the control center of the cell. Why? Because it contains the hereditary material and coordinates the cell activities like growth, metabolism, and reproduction. As far as the structure of the nucleus is concerned, this is the structure of the nucleus. It is bounded by a double membrane called the nuclear envelope, which has some pores on it. These pores are known as nuclear pores, and they allow the movement of molecules through them. Inside the nuclear envelope, the genetic material is present in the form of thread-like structures known as the chromatin. Chromatin is made up of DNA, RNA, and some proteins. Nucleus also contains the nucleolus, which are the site of rRNA synthesis. These are dense structures but are not membrane bound. Ribosomes are made here. Ribosomes are the site for protein synthesis. The ribosomes formed inside the nucleus leave the nucleus and enter the cytoplasm, where they get attached to endoplasmic reticulum. These are endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum refers to a network of tiny tubular structures scattered in the cytoplasm. The main function of the endoplasmic reticulum is manufacturing and packaging. Endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. As the name indicates, rough endoplasmic reticulum has a rough surface because ribosomes are attached to it, and the surface of smooth endoplasmic reticulum is smooth because ribosomes are not attached to it. The mRNA from the nucleus reaches the ribosomes on the endoplasmic reticulum. The information stored in the mRNA is decoded by the ribosomes and proteins are formed and released into the endoplasmic reticulum. This endoplasmic reticulum closely works along with the ribosomes and the Golgi apparatus. This is the Golgi apparatus. These are disc-shaped sacs or cisternae stacked parallel to each other. What is the function of this Golgi apparatus? Yes, it has a very important function. It modifies or customizes the proteins into the forms that can be used by the cells. Now the proteins are formed, they go and attach to the outer membrane of the Golgi apparatus. And along with the membrane, it buds out and form a tiny membrane-bound structure known as vesicles. Animal cells have many vesicles, whereas the plant cells have a large vesicle known as vacuole. This vacuole is filled with organic and inorganic molecules along with water. There is another important vesicular structure known as lysosomes, also known as the garbage collector, because it contains digestive enzymes which help in the digestion of food particles, worn-out organelles, viruses and bacteria. Hence, the lysosomes, they help in the removal of waste from the cell. Mitochondria, it is a very important organelle. It is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because the process of cellular respiration takes place here. During the process of cellular respiration, ATP molecules are produced which provide energy for all the cellular activities. Now, how do cells maintain their shape? Cells maintain their shape with the help of a cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton includes the microfilaments. These are the microfilaments. They are made up of proteins, and the microtubules, which are thin hollow tubes. Plant cells have a unique organelle known as the chloroplast. This green organelle is known as chloroplast. It contains a tiny little molecule known as chlorophyll, and the process of photosynthesis takes place in this chloroplast. During the process of photosynthesis, the energy of the sun gets converted into sugar with the help of chlorophylls. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside the cell membrane. It is made up of cellulose. This cell wall gives strength and rigidity to the plant cell. This is all about the structure of the cell. Thank you.